You hear that sound? You know what that means. It's time to wake up and tune in to Two Men in the AM with Dustin Staples and Luis Romero.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to 2 Men in the AM. We appreciate you tuning on in or listening to wherever you may find yourself on this fine Friday. I'm Dustin Staples.
I'm Luis Romero, and again, thank you for being here, everybody. A lot to discuss, a lot that we have to catch up on. And let's just be completely honest, this is our second time recording this because of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But we'll go on.
We'll go on with it as well. So, but anyway, we hope you've all had a wonderful 4th of July week. Kind of an interesting week because it did not fall on the weekend this time like it did last year. But some people had Monday off. Some, obviously, if you had Tuesday off, this guy wasn't off on Tuesday. He was working in Mount Airy. We'll talk a little bit about that. And now we're finally Friday, so it's like a wishy-washy week kind of deal. And some people even know ahead of time take the whole week off because they know it's like a weekend for their own vacation. So
yeah, I've heard of a lot of people that go to the beach during this holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's interesting. I've never done it.
Neither.
But talking about working, my plan was to actually be off during the 4th of July, but that wasn't what actually happened. And so I went to Mount Airy, North Carolina, went to the parade, covered that. It was hot. Thankfully, my equipment worked.
Yep.
That was an awesome parade, always awesome community, and a lot of turnout, not from just the people that were participating, but also the people that were in the lineup. So that was definitely nice to see. Donna Fargo, who a lot of people in our age group probably don't know, but she was there. They had a mural unveiling for her.
Okay.
And so they had a ceremony for that. Again, very, very hot. And she had some book signings and book signings and meet and greet with the fans.
Okay.
But before that, some of the media got to do interviews, and we were one of them. Nice. I didn't interview her, but I was behind the camera, so that was nice. And again, I met her. And she was very lovely, a great woman of God, and she truly cares about her fans and loves them. So that's kind of why some things took a little longer than normal, because she would actually talk to everybody.
Right. Started as the Grand Marshal.
Yep. So that's really good. So I had a lot of fun, but again, everything did not fall into place like we had expected. Mm-hmm. So I did not make it back to town till later on. So I kind of worked a full day. And then unfortunately had to go out to a news story later in the evening.
Yep,
so very unfortunate. But what did you do during your 4th of July?
Well, I spent most of my time being an IT technician at a local phone provider company in our area. Took too long. Someone in our family just had to change their phone number like 5 different times. This happened even before going to this place. And I want to give a big shout out to those individuals. Thank you for dealing with my family. I really mean that. And they saw me over there. I was kind of doing this every few minutes, but it's all fixed, thankfully, squared away. They just thought something went wrong, and I thought I was going to be in and out. No, I decided to spend about an hour or more. It seemed like forever there. So, and then here we are. This was kind of late in the afternoon, so not many things are open. I was supposed to go to a cookout. That didn't go as planned. We just had to go out to eat just because it was already late in the day, and not many things were open because of, people are closed for the holiday, things of that nature. So we didn't really go to that, did a little bit of that, and then went on back home. Everybody went their separate ways, and decided to spend the comfort of my AC watching a PBS special with the 4th of July fireworks from Washington, D.C. So in the comfort of my own home, as well, a lot of people, I know Chad Hall was at Stewart Tuesday evening at Patrick County, out covering that. So that's kind of how I did that, and it was just cruising and bruising. Not bruising, but cruising mostly. Okay,
because I was gonna say.
I know.
I don't think that goes along. But anyways, yep. And you've said this before that you've been told that if you see one of the shows of fireworks,
you've seen them all. I get where you're coming from. I've seen so many firework displays since a little kid. I used to be terrified of fireworks.
Really?
I did not like them. I was so terrified of them things. When they did them at the Martinsville Speedway, before they switched to the fair, we'd go out there and we'd sit in the stands, and it would just terrify me to death. And as an I just kind of got, all right, whatever. You got to get used to it, get adapted to it. So, but there is I don't know the phobia of it, but there's a fear of fireworks, and I don't know what that phobia is. So as a little kid, it terrified me to death. And so I always thought the ash would come on you because it shot up in the sky so much.
Oh,
And
okay,
so that
okay,
kind of
yeah.
terrified me. But yes, another firework display happening tonight at the Martinsville Mustangs game. I will be there with some other family. So
Okay, interesting.
We'll be there this evening.
Chad's going to be there too.
All right then. So I'll probably see him run around. Or
Yeah,
not
I
run
think he's going to be live for that.
Okay.
For that show. So that should be interesting. But I've been to the one in Patrick County. Chad went on Tuesday. But I will say that, again, I was watching the one on Tuesday from this year, and I was like, yeah, that looks exactly like the one from last year. So I definitely can see where people are right when they say, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Interesting. And just want to take a little bit of time, and we got different audiences, but want to remind everybody to have fun with your fireworks, but always be careful. Don't do it next to your house or any property that you don't want burnt down. It could lead to a tragedy.
Right.
So.
There was a story I saw earlier this week. They were just testing to see the limits of fireworks, and the sparklers burn up to 2,000 degrees. So
Wow.
they're recommending children under the age of 5 to do not mess with them by themselves. As long as there's a parental guardian, adult supervision around it, they recommend using those. I like the sparklers myself. The poppets are pretty cool, and there's a little smoke bombs that go off too. They have different colors: blue, red, orange, yellow, etc. So, but other than that, I mean, I'm not the one that's going to buy the whole firework package. I mean, if you're sponsoring it, okay, maybe so.
Right.
But I'm just going to sit on my front porch and let you do your thing.
I will say that also I don't buy the fireworks because, again, as far as I can remember, I've always had to work a fireworks show. I'm not the one lighting them. I'm the one watching them and filming them. So
Right.
I don't get to do that quite often. So I can't say which ones are my favorite fireworks or anything like that. But it was great to see all the fireworks, and I was surprised here in the city of Martinsville because after I got back into town, it started to get dark. So I said I got to go home because, of course, my dog is afraid of the fireworks, and depending on how loud the thunder is, he's afraid of that. So I turned up the TV pretty loud, and I just kind of watched a movie on Tuesday while he was there. But again, surprisingly, there was not much that was happening. So
I didn't hear much either where I live, so I was like, it's kind of nice actually, because they knew it's a work day. People got to get back and go back to work on Wednesday. So
but a lot of people got to have Monday and Tuesday off, so now they're coming back to work on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And made it through the end of the week.
They did.
So that was
Congratulations.
fun. And then, of course, talking about the 4th of July, and you've been calling it a weekend, which is really not a 4th of July
it's
weekend.
not a weekend.
But anyways, you had a power outage on Sunday.
Yeah, that was delightful. No, it wasn't. About 12 o'clock, 12:30 or so, I had was already up doing some stuff, slept it a little bit, and then I heard thunder. I said, okay, we're going to get a storm. I sort of knew it was coming. They said to expect storms, so thank you, Shania Dalton. I'm watching you, actually, so not saying I'm not getting the forecast wrong. But woke up, and my sister had already been up and did some things. She says she hears this loud banging. We're like, great, here comes some storms. And she's like, oh, I ain't going to lose power. And that's where I jinxed it right there. And so I'm like,
I think so.
30 minutes later, here we are. It's hot, it's humid, sun's shining like nothing happened. Some debris in the yard, but other than that, it was interesting. Going 14 hours without power is not a fun thing.
No.
I feel bad for anybody else that had lost power, because there was some areas that did not get power until late Tuesday evening.
And there was no breeze.
Monday, no.
There was no breeze.
It was stagnant.
It was hot. It was sticky.
It was miserable. First power outage I've experienced in some time, because most of the time I was at Radford. And every time they had backup generators. But going through the day, we're just going to power through us, opening windows, outside, just trying to soak in the sun. And, okay, it's too hot. You come in. It's too hot inside, so you have no relief either way. So we kind of did the old style, got a wash rag and a bandana, wet it down, tied it around your neck to make sure that you cool yourself down. And for dinner, we were expecting a nice dinner. That didn't happen. It wasn't candlelight dinner because the sun was still kind of out.
Right.
So we did the classic turkey BLT sandwich for dinner. I wish it was a little warm, but that's okay. That's all right. Hey,
Right.
I lived through it. And then by the time the sun sets, we're kind of sitting outside on our porch and we're like, well, this is what it was like in the olden days, as my sister described it. I'm like, I guess
Right.
so. But I said, this is actually kind of fun. You think about it, it's like, you're my phone's dying. I'm like, well, I need the phone for like emergency, so I had a backup charger. Didn't realize I had it till, of course, it's well past in the nighttime. So stayed off the phone for a little while and just kind of just soaked in moments. And then my sister had a job interview the next morning, so I took her to another family's house that had power. I said I was wait out, stay the night. About 1:45, I start I'm tired. I've been up for all day. No power. You can't sleep well.
Right.
Had the wet rag around me. Opened the windows up. Still no breeze. So this is not good.
No.
I had a little radio playing in the background. So I had some sort of music going on so I could have something else besides silence.
Yeah, pretty much.
And within about an hour later, I hear trucks coming through. So thank you to our friends at Appalachia Power and those outside companies for coming in to help us. Heard banging and trucks. They got lost, actually, so they had to send another truck to find that truck. And so they had flashlights because they're trying to figure out who's out power. Is there really a power outage?
Right.
So they're finding the fuse box, and they get stuck somewhere, and they don't know where they are. So they call all these trucks to come down. By 2:30, they're working on it. An hour later, light, as they say, there is light. So ready to go to bed, shut the windows, went on to sleep for the little hours I got. And yeah.
Okay, interesting. I will say that what I found, and I told you this, what I found that was interesting about the entire situation was that I had other friends that told me that the power was out, and I was actually at my friend's house at her pool, and we were hanging out, of course, on the Sunday, having some pool time and then some dinner together. They were using their generator when I got there because the power was out, but then it came back at around 6 that evening on Sunday. My other friends came before, and they are in the sticks or the boonies, however you want to refer to it.
Right.
And you're closer to town.
I know.
So I said, it's interesting. I feel like they forgot about you, or they just went past you.
Well, I had to call and make sure that they knew that it was reported.
So that was interesting to me, to say the very least.
Yep. So I'm good camping out in the humidity. I'd rather not do that again. But yeah, so that was fun. And then the AC, but you appreciate it because once you have no AC for so many hours,
yeah, you appreciate everything when you don't have it anymore.
And when it came back on, our thermostat, the little air rated said 80 degrees in the house. I was
I bet.
Oh my!
Every bit of it.
So I turned the thermostat to 70, and then within like a few hours, it was too cold. I woke up. And then it got way too cold in the morning. I said, I like this, but now I'm too cold. So, but I'm better than sweating out my blood and tears. But enough of that. So thank you, AEP. Well, hope you're listening and watching, by the way, but they're probably not. So anyway, let's move on.
And I think that we talked about, my friend that we went to the pool, and I did a little bit of movie watching and hung out with her, and we did watch a movie. And she's kind of the influence on why I like Clueless and fan of it. We watched, what was the name of the movie? It was 13 going on 30. Have you watched that?
I've seen parts of it.
Okay, so that was a good movie, I would say. And I liked the message that kind of enjoy your early years. Don't try to be old. Don't try to go old. Don't try to grow an adult, because we were actually going to my friend's house during that Sunday in Marbella. My niece is with me, and she's like, I think is it right that I have 10 years until I'm 18? And I said, gave her a whole spiel, a whole soapbox, now that I know that word. And I was like, you do not want to wish your years away. Because I enjoyed them. I would give anything to be back there.
I was joking to say, I'm, in my 20s, I still feel like I'm 18.
Yeah.
With that mindset. Yeah. And it's better to think that way, really. They say, and I heard this on the radio recently too, they said, think as of your teenage years, make you feel like you've got the energy of whatever it is, even though you're this age. So I'll be 18 for the rest of my life. Okay, no, not really. So.
Yeah, that was neat. And I don't feel old. I'm getting old, but I don't feel it. So I'm glad that the body, but later on it catches up with you. So don't want to wish it away, because then later you'll be complaining about all those things that you ate, all those things you didn't do to your body to keep it healthy. But
right.
It is what it is. That's part of life. But we got another shout out, and I will say before we get into that shout out, that people may be asking, hey Luis, why does it take you a week to give us a shout out on an episode that I did the week before? Well, I don't check the messages for the Spotify podcast every day. So I don't get notified that we got a new message. So I get an email the week after, and that's why they are delayed. So I need to start checking them a little more often. And I think the pre-set question is, what did you think of this episode? And this is episode
13, 14, somewhere right around there. We're getting close.
Does it say on there?
I don't know if it does. It may
I
be.
think-
No, it does. It says episode. This is episode 13.
This is episode
13. And
Okay.
so this is coming from, again, Miss Vanessa Dalton. Thank you for watching. Big shout out to her. She says, thanks for the shout out. Absolutely. She agrees with me. She does not like The Office. If it does, she said, if it doesn't grab her within the first 15 minutes, she's turning it completely. But she does like watching Abbott. So I've got 2 bonus points from me so far. Not a
Okay.
fan of The Office as much. And I got that same flow. If it's not within, I got to watch something else.
Right.
She has suggested watching The Mother on Netflix. It's got starring Jennifer Lopez. I've never seen that, never have heard of it either. So that may be something I'll have to take a look at. So thank you for that movie suggestion there.
I think I might need to look into that. I told you that the way you grab me to watch movies, you got to tell me a little bit about what the movie is. Not all the way through, and we're talking about movies again. I already talked about them, and we're going to talk about it. And that's kind of why I wanted to give that little segue there. But yeah, I think we should. I may, if I remember it, I will take a look at The Mother and see what that's all about, and hopefully give a movie review after I do
Be
that.
like those social media influencers. If they're watching, reviewing movies, you're
Right.
like in a little corner. But
Right.
anyway,
Yeah,
so.
we'll do a little reaction. No, we won't do that. But thank you for taking the time to give us this comment. And of course, you're not Dalton's mother. We appreciate you for listening or watching, whichever you do.
Yep.
And of course, with everything that happened, we talked about July 4th. We've talked about movies and shout outs. And now we have to talk about the fair.
Buchanan
The
Community
Cannon
Carnival.
Community Carnival. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to say carnival because
Yes.
it's not a fair.
No.
I don't know what the difference is.
I believe, from what I've been informed, a carnival is more small based. A fair is a lot more interaction and a lot more.
To start off, that's one of the things that I liked about it.
Yeah,
It was
so
smaller.
Smaller. First time you've got to been to Buchanan, been to that carnival. It's my 3rd time in about 10 years, so it was good to see some familiar things. I was a little kid last time I saw these.
Right.
So the way we did it, we started from the extreme and went to the end, in the beginning.
Got there around 6. No, seven.
Seven-ish,
Seven, and left around 9:30. So we got a good little play time. The other interesting thing that you mentioned
I
is
know.
that
Brent
we-
Watts.
yeah,
was
well,
there.
with that, but
Yeah.
also we'll get into that in just a
tell you what,
second.
sorry, yeah.
But what was interesting is that nobody knew us. So
Oh, that was
it's
nice.
not that we don't like someone coming up and saying, "Hey, how are you?" and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that way we could literally relax
Yeah.
and go to the rides.
Yeah.
And because it's a small one again, we got to. I think the most that we waited for a ride was 20 minutes. So I thought that was really good because the rides were big enough where there was the line. The half of the line would be able to get that ride, and then later on, we were getting on that ride. So I enjoyed it very, very much. But yes, after we left around 9:30, Brent Watts.
Texted me. He says, "Hey man," he said, "I'm just got here." I said, "I'm just leaving." So somehow
Because you told me he was going to be there.
I just had a
and
feeling.
I said, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
and so he was there with his nieces and nephews and their family. So next time, I did jokingly said next time we'll have to plan that accordingly. So, but no, it was good to be up there, and it's like I said, it's a small community town, so everybody kind of knows everybody. But most of the people I did had a chance to talk to some of the rides. They were out of town visitors.
Yep.
Because it was a holiday, obviously. That
Yep.
well to them, whenever it is.
We
you know,
were out of town visitors.
We were out of town visitors too, so it was good to meet someone else who was not from Martinsville or Virginia as a
Yeah.
whole. So, the first
Someone was from West Virginia? No.
West Virginia.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they were Princeton, West Virginia. That's a lengthy drive.
Yes.
From Buchanan. But first drive we did was like this claw shape. It got your adrenaline running, and
The Brute?
The Brute.
It
Not
was.
my favorite. That was not my favorite.
I would say it was not my favorite, but the first one really got me. I love the adrenaline of feeling like you're about to die.
I'm sure,
Basically,
yes.
basically what it was. But we literally, I think we started with. I won't put that one as the scariest or the most nerve-wracking.
no.
I think the drop. We'll talk about the drop.
talk
I think
about
that
yeah.
one is the one that really gets you. But that one I believe is the second one, and it wasn't my intention to start off strong.
No, it wasn't.
We just did. and we just started at that one. And
We
then
did.
After that, because of the way that it turns you in the air, your stomach just drops.
I could not.
And
No.
so after that, we were like, yeah, maybe we started a little too strong. So we went to the little kites it
Yeah,
was.
I like that. You're flat down, kind of like, not an airplane, but you kind of feel, and it did that little circular up and down motion. And so it was nice to get a breeze, because it was not breezy there either. Well, later in the day, it began to pick
Yeah,
up.
later, but not to start
that
off. It was
humid, hot. So we did that for a little while, and then we did the Ferris wheel. You got to do the famous Ferris wheel. If you don't go to a carnival with a Ferris wheel, what are you doing? You know what I
Right.
mean? No, not really, but
I did like the Ferris wheel. The thing that I liked about it was that you were able to be on top and see the fair from that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not like that there was no breeze, because it was just kind of slow, kind
Yeah.
of. I feel like just mesmerized kind of
Yeah,
thing.
relaxing,
I think
really.
that's what the Ferris wheel is. So.
and then we decided to get on this cart that 2 adults should not be sitting in.
No,
One,
it's crammed.
crammed, and you're going in circles and backwards and throwing stuff.
Yeah,
I lost-
literally just doing this.
Yeah. So I'm trying to push. He said, I have no control, but it's the gravity of that cart, and you have to just.
And he
kinda-
was elbowing me, which I was like, "Why are you elbowing me?"
Yeah, I never do that, but I'm like, hey, man, but I get it now, because it's not meant for 2 adults. Maybe a
Yeah.
little kid, I mean, their mom. Maybe.
He was hurting me. I was like, "Why is he hurting me?"
yeah.
I didn't mean to get
I
on.
know what you mean. I know, but if maybe for like a little kid, and their mom or dad, something like that, kind of
Yeah,
just.
because it would tilt you to the left.
Yes.
When it was going on, then it got worse. It would go back, and it was loud horns. That didn't bother me as much. I know it kind of did you.
I did
that
like
it was
that.
loud. You lost your hat at that ride.
Oh, multiple times.
But the music was nice.
Yeah.
I liked the music because it kind of went with the theme of the whole little thing. But again, it was just not a pleasant ride.
No.
Not my favorite.
No. And then
Someone may like it, but maybe I didn't like it because I was with Dustin, again, 2 adults. Maybe one person would be
Right.
fine, or a child with you might be okay.
Yeah, and then we did the swings. you
And
know.
it would not stop the ride. Just my last comment on that would not
yeah.
stop. I was like, okay, I'm ready to get off, and
I
I
am
just kept
too.
going.
I said, I'm beginning to get nauseous. I said, I really was. I said, I can't take this anymore. But
But
thankfully
we
I was
did
fine.
the swings.
Did the swings a lot more calmer, but you got to breeze with those.
Yep.
And so that was the benefit of doing those. It was like we did extreme, let's calm. Back to extreme, let's calm down a little bit. And then after all that, we did the thing that drops you
Yeah.
up and down. You like that? You went on that twice.
I did go on that twice. That one, you went with me the first time.
One was
and
enough.
the first time, obviously, when you literally just drop, because that's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
The build up is the biggest thing. The drop, I didn't do it intentionally. I just closed my eyes when I dropped, and I said, nope, can't do that. So I get back in line. Nobody was getting on it.
They were
Nobody
not.
wanted to. It was like
But-
4.
Right.
There was 3, 6, 9, I believe.
Yeah.
And there was only like 4 people.
And he gets on the
it.
ride. There's a 7-year-old
Seven-year-old.
girl sitting next to you. Y'all just conversating all the way
Yeah,
up.
I was interviewing her basically. I was like, "You're on the Luis Romero show," and I was interviewing her, and just kind of like, "You're not scared?" She was like, "No." I said, "How old are you?" 7, and I said, "I'm gonna try to keep eyes open this time." And so, second time, the build up, and then you hear that. That's how you know you're gonna drop it. I told her that because she didn't know that, so I said,
yeah.
Be ready for that." And the second one, I closed my eyes halfway through, then I open them, and then we drop. And that was pretty scary.
Yeah.
That was nerve wracking. I will say that.
I cannot.
I can't remember what the little girl did because I was first of all not looking that
Right,
way
right. 'Cause you-
for the most part.
Right.
And so, but she did not yell. I can tell you that. So she's a very brave young lady, to
did.
say the least.
And
so that was
adrenaline for
Nerve-wracking.
sure. And then we got on this thing. It felt like you were on an airplane. Well, you did it a couple of times. You kind of just stand back.
yeah
Around
Just
it.
stand back and
Again,
relax.
breeze.
Breeze
That's all it
nice
was.
on
That was.
one.
I think of the common theme this year was circular rides with breezes. I don't know. I wasn't on the planning committee,
Yeah,
but
that one was my favorite,
like
and
that
I
one
did the
too.
back to back getting on because again the lines were not long, which is again my
yeah.
favorite thing.
And I did
about
like
the Colonel.
I will say some like people that say, "All right, you've done all this too long. You got to take a break." And this guy was like, and I think they switched people and stuff like that. So they really
They did
So
switch.
and then finally we did in the little not electric guitar, but it was a guitar.
Yeah, something
I don't know
like
what it was. You did that twice. I went with you the second time, and
That one was nice. It looked It looked more intimidating than it actually was.
Lost my sunglasses permanently. So if anybody wants to give me a pair of sunglasses, I'm looking for. No, I'm just kidding. But
Because we looked around for them.
did.
We could not find them.
so, but anyway, yeah, that was fun. Got me a nice, expensive lemonade that he got on me about, but it's okay. And then I got a funnel cake.
And both were good, you
Both
said?
were good.
Yeah.
There's no fun in funnel cake without being at a carnival. No pun
Right.
intended there. But
Well, the reason why I got on him is because we ate
We
in
did.
Roanoke on the way there.
I think
Texas
I
Roadhouse.
think all my food left me after all them rides.
Probably.
That's what
probably.
happened.
But I said, no, I'm not going to spend that type of money at the fair. That's why I ate before. And I enjoyed the carnival.
Yeah.
But we thank you, everyone, for being here with us and letting us chat away about the fair.
And we'll hope to see you back here next Friday. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.